I'm Spencer with xPat Jack. This is Josh Plath.
That's right.
With the Flowmingos.
Hey, I'm the drummer.
And he's living the adventure.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
everybody, we are the Flowmingos. Follow us on Instagram at flow_mingos if you like what you're listening to. Thank you all so much. If you feel so inclined, please throw some cash in these bags. And if you don't have any cash and still want to support, we also have Venmo, where you can find that info right here. Thank you all so much. We appreciate it.
We're good, like Flowmingos. I'm Manny. I'm the baritone saxophonist from the Flowmingos. It's me.
I'm Josh. I'm the drummer.
I'm Jonas. I play the trombone in the Flowmingos.
I'm Alex. I play the flute.
If only.
If only.
Okay, give us some background on what you guys, where you guys met, like your musical training, like all that kind of stuff.
What's that?
We met at the New School for Jazz and Contemporary Music. We all went to school there between like 2011 and 2016. We've been in a couple of bands before, all four of us kind of in different iterations. This band formed in January 2019 when we were just kind of at a low point with our musical careers. Not much was happening, so we were like, fuck it, we're going to play in the subway. We know we can make some money, have to pay rent. You know, winter sucks in New York City, so we had to do something. And pretty much just from then, it really took off, and it's just grown on its own at a really rapid pace, which is pretty impressive.
It grew very naturally. The people took to it, and we noticed that they really enjoyed the music. We had to put music out, we had to put merch out, we had to have shows, and I mean, we got a lot of offers to do shows and stuff like that. So the things just kept coming just because we kept working on it, you know. And now we see that it's a real thing. So we're taking it much more seriously now and trying to get to the next level.
That's good.
Like individually though, like background with music, like.
I started playing saxophone when I was 9. I'm from Chicago. I joined the concert band there. Then I started working on jazz and different things like that. I went to an arts high school, and then I came to the New School to study jazz, and that's where I met these guys. I actually met Jonas when we were auditioning at the New School the same day.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. What about you, Josh? How long have you been playing?
I've been playing since I was 7 or 8, I think, and then I was in dance in high school. I was in high school concert band, which was weird. I had a rock band, then I was in the army band, then I went to New School after that.
Okay, cool.
And then boom, that's where I met these guys.
Well, let's go. I started playing trombone when I was 9 as well as 5th grade. Originally wanted to play the saxophone or the trumpet, but my teacher said there was too many kids that wanted to play sax. So, and then I really liked how the trombone players were all moving their arms together. It's very alien-like, and I was like, I'm you. I'm one of you. So, picked it up. Teachers were like, you're too good at this. And looking back, I was pretty shitty, you know, but they probably were just like, yeah. So, I really mainly focused on classical until I moved to Oregon, 10th grade, and then I switched over to jazz. Got to school for jazz music. I never really liked jazz that much. I just liked music, but definitely learned a lot from jazz, and then I think that's kind of why our style is what it is. There are lots of elements of jazz, but because I hate jazz, it doesn't sound like jazz, you know?
You guys have a lot of funk, a lot of other influences.
Yeah, a lot of funk.
Too.
I'm like a big fan of like electronic music and like
Yeah.
festival. I just want to play festivals. I want thousands of people listening to us actually get to like groove.
Yeah, I want thousands of people listening to jazz. Yeah, I'm Alex. I play the saxophone now. Switched instruments 5 seconds ago. But I started when I was 10 years old or 11, going into 5th grade. My dad plays the saxophone too, so because of him, his wife played the sax. Because I actually sounded really bad when I auditioned on sax, and they were like, "You shouldn't play this." They actually wanted me to play trombone because I didn't sound that bad on trombone. And percussion too, I sounded pretty good. I was able to memorize like what they did on the xylophone. But my dad was like, "You're playing sax." Still not sure if it was the best decision. Still love the drums, but it's all right. I forgave him already, and we're here now. So yeah,
He's a badass sax player.
Play the sax, man. Went to an arts high school in Dallas, Texas, as well. And then went to the New School. I went to UNT for a year. Met a lot of really great people over there. Then went to the New School. I met these guys in my second. I was a sophomore, so I came a little later than them.
Cool.
We met then.
Yeah. So you guys play a lot out all the time, which is cool. How much time do you guys actually spend practicing on your own craft? Or are you kind of like at that level now? It's just like the more you play with other players, that's how you get better.
We're in different places, I think, with that.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of videos of you, Josh, on your social media. You practice a lot.
I feel weird. If I don't play, I feel weird.
Yeah.
I think these two are very similar in the sense that they like practice every day.
Yeah.
I personally like fill my time.
Don't worry about
Yeah,
it.
we can fix it. Yeah, you guys can go.
But yeah, I like choose to. I need to like do some trombone.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm not very good. But I do often go quite a long time without playing, which is probably not good. But for me, like the fact that we play so frequently, like I use this as my practice, just for like my chops sake.
Right.
But I like to write music and like make music on my computer. So that's kind of what I view as practicing.
Okay.
Just like composing and.
So you make electronica too, or?
Yeah, electronic stuff, and then just like, you know, I like just make a lot of different things and then throw everything at these guys, and whatever they like, they keep, and then whatever they don't like, I'm gonna just release under another project, you know. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
it's kind of.
I practice every day. I'm trying to do more of it too. Trying to wake up earlier so I can get like at least a couple hours to 3 hours in. I think that'd be ideal for me. I'm not like a very natural musician. I feel like it takes a long time for me to like get better. And I look at Jonas and I think he just picks it up, or Manny too. They just play and they sound great, you know, like stone, sober, it doesn't matter. It's like, it sounds the same, it's awesome. I feel like my shit's not the same, so I have to practice more. And I need to also work on writing more music like this guy does. Like, I think that is definitely his like practice. It's the same type of thing. I mean, it's like I'm honing my craft as a sax player, he's honing his craft as a producer. It's the same thing, just different mediums. So you're definitely shedding all the time.
That's cool.
All that stuff.
Awesome. You guys do contribute to the music industry as a whole, right? A lot of people see the music industry and it's like what you see on TV, what you hear on the radio, all that stuff, the pop stars, the rock stars. You guys are like straight up New York, out in the shit, street musicians, recording, you know, session guys, like all that stuff. Like how does that contribute to the music industry as a whole? Compared to, say, the person like Selena Gomez.
Well, we're trying to get to that level.
We're trying to get to that level, but with a different style of music, you know, that definitely has a lot of soul and also can educate people on a different style of music that isn't currently too popular. I know our music isn't jazz, but it definitely has a lot of those elements, and it has a lot of influence from improvised music, you know, so being able to play that style of music and blend it with the popular music of today, I think is very educating, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's kind of what's cool about our music. Like, it appeals to people of all different ages, and at the same time, it can connect everyone, and it's still catchy, and it's not too... It's not the other, you know? You know what I mean?
I feel like people don't
It's
even
relatable.
People don't even hear new music anymore. They're not exposed to it, and like the radio station's not trying to expose people to it.
Right.
They just want to keep using the same sounding shit, so when they hear us, it's like a little different. It's like people actually play instruments, I think. They're like,
It's
oh
refreshing.
man, people still do this. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, like all 3 gigs I followed you guys around on, like every single gig, people were dancing, and like you can't help but walk by and you just notice people start grooving, and their walk starts to have that like that groove to it. You know what I mean? Like whether or not they're, you know, as long as their headphones aren't in or whatever. But
I think a big thing too, though, like I feel like the music industry is heading in a different direction where it's a lot more personalized, and there's a lot more room for there to be more niche kind of audiences. So I feel like we're just kind of doing our own thing. I feel like with any kind of style of music, it was always just somebody doing their own thing, and eventually people caught on. Like with any style, if you look at like New York City from the 80s, 90s, the hip hop culture, that happened here, and then the world saw it, and it went out, and everybody got like crazy about it. You know?
well, what you guys have is organic and it's malleable too.
Yeah.
Like seeing Cash, and you know, like you have people that can sing over your music. You have people that can rap over your music. I mean, you can do so much with it. It's pretty neat. It's pretty cool. You mentioned that's the level you're trying to get to. I guess maybe that could answer this question. What's something that can make your work easier or even more fulfilling than it already is, besides getting a record deal? Deals are overrated.
Yeah, I don't know if we need a record deal.
I think
I'd rather just have
we need a band.
a band.
Yeah, just like a pleasure. I think we're heading in the direction that's allowing a lot of ease. Is that we have your pilot. We got the pilot. No, but we have booking agents now. That's like the next step for us, honestly, is to get out of New York City. And I like the booking agents that I speak to, they say like you're in a unique situation because any band outside of New York City, this is impossible to break into. But New York City bands often get trapped, so it's hard for them to branch out.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
so like that's like an issue that they kind kind of see. So like, you know, we have a booking agent now who's helping us get gigs in Vermont. He's got connections everywhere else. So that's really the thing that makes it easier, because these guys have a rapport with venues. So they're like, all right, this band is coming. So you're gonna give them the guarantee that you give all my bands, whether it be $400 or $1,600, you know?
Okay. Oh,
And
that's
then
cool.
when you have that kind of a situation, then you can book a tour and like
Right.
not just like completely eat all the funds,
Right.
hoping that you'll make it back. So I think for us, that's the natural next step in our progression. Obviously, the more music that we release too, if anything pops off, that'll be great.
Going viral, like, you know how common it is now, but it's like that's like, without getting a record deal, that's like a really good way for people that don't live in New York to know about us, right? Something great to go around the world, like a video of us playing, or even a song like you said, something just kind of hitting and getting really popular will open up so many doors for us, whether it's opening up for bands that didn't know who we were or whatever. But definitely just us touring around New York area and like going to like a little bit south, a little bit more north, a little bit west, whatever, in any direction. It's really important for us to like have other people listen to us. Right, space, yeah.
Well, I mean, especially in today's day and age, honestly, the record deal comment is more of a joke just because you don't need it because of viral videos and things like that. But it's funny, if you look at history and you look at music history, you look at guys like ZZ Top, if you know their story at all. All they did was tour around Texas forever. They had no idea they were even famous because they were just on tour all the time. And then they're like, oh, people all over know us. Like, it was eye-opening to them.
They
You know what I
only
mean?
toured Texas.
That's all they did was just like they got an agent or a manager or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's just like, no, you guys are just on the road. They spent like an entire year on the road, and then they didn't even realize that like they had gone huge. You know, they had no idea.
I feel like back, like in those times, though,
it's completely different.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you know, I just
on the radio and everything.
Yeah.
I just read like.
I mean, you can pull up your phone, you know if you're famous or not.
Exactly. Like, are you got that blue check or not?
Yeah.
But like even reading like Jimi Hendrix's document or biography, like that's the other thing about record labels. Like they're really out to just like make theirs. They don't really give a shit about the artists. And it's even more now that
this stage.
yeah, and like you know, like speaking to people that get record deals, like we're not even remotely close. Like you have to have 1 million followers and a couple 100,000 monthly listeners on Spotify before like one of these major record labels will even consider giving you a deal. And then even then, if somebody else pops off, then you're just shelved. So it's like, and then you don't
do it yourself anyway.
Yeah, but then if you sign a deal,
Well,
You
that's
make
right.
a lot more money doing things yourself these days, and if you're really smart about it, you can create a platform just like Patreon or these other platforms where you have subscribers and people pay monthly things for you to produce content, basically. If you have 1,000 super fans that pay something for everything you release, whether it's music or merch or whatever, you're gonna make a living. Everyone's gonna be fine. They're gonna be comfortable. But 1,000 super fans, there's just 1,000 people that are loving your music. So it's just how do you get those people that really connect with you, and how do they stay with you?
Well, especially with such a malleable product. Like you don't know if somebody else who's like, you know, here's your guy's stuff, and they're like, dude, I could write something over that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
and then it's like so and so featuring the Flowmingos or whatever. You know, like that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. What external factors? So not internal to the band. What external factors, mainly those unseen by the public, affect your ability to do what you do?
Well, I mean, the pandemic slowed things down.
Oh
for
yeah,
us, but,
yeah, for sure.
But now we're all getting vaccinated and all that. So you know, shows are coming back, and I don't know. I don't really see too much else affecting us other than what just happened. Now we're back, and I only see us moving forward. I can't really think of it. I mean, I also left my other job to just focus on this, and I think we're all taking this very seriously. So that's.
I think the only external factor that can be an issue is over busking like this, the cops. Like if neighbors complain, like we get shut down every now and then, which sucks, but it doesn't happen that often. But that is definitely like that, and then busking also is kind of just like first come first served thing. So like I said, I pulled up. Like I mean, generally I wouldn't on a Friday, but like tomorrow and Sunday we will get here at 9:30 or 10, so that nobody else can get the spot, even if we don't play until 1 o'clock. Like I guess that's an external fact. You know, that's like I'm sitting
You
here
have to make sacrifices to make those things happen, or else, because a lot of people, there's only so many spots that are really nice and that work out really well on nice days, and a lot of bands want them, so
Right.
you gotta do more than everyone else, basically.
That lends to another question: competition. Like, how do you guys have like such a unique thing that you're kind of your own thing, so you don't worry about other people having the exact same sound or whatever? Or is there like New York's?
No one has our exact sound, but there are like other brass bands and other like saxophone heavy bands, but I think we don't really compete with them, and it's not a competition thing. It's more of like a, yo, y'all are dope. We like what you're doing with it. You're taking me in this direction. We're doing this thing. How can we maybe in the future work together or not. But like I think it's more like I don't know, it's not that vibe of competition, you know?
We definitely sound different than other bands. Like there's other brass bands that play original music sometimes, but most of them do covers. We don't do any covers.
That's the big thing.
Oh,
that's,
really?
that's the main thing. Like we're playing all original stuff. It's very different. Like even at Radagast, that band that played before us, all covers.
Yeah.
It kind of like preps all the audience for us, because then all of a sudden they hear something fresh and it's just like, whoa. And you hear that's on the score.
Yeah.
But it's also relatable. You know?
Yeah,
Catchy.
for sure.
And like, you know, with Radagast too, like they normally only hire bands that play covers. So like the fact that like we're one of their favorite bands, I was just like, at first I was a little nervous because it's like there's always those kind of situations like, are people gonna like us? And they're like, you guys are like the best. You know, and like when you look at like the original bands, yeah, like they were saying, I think we all draw inspiration from them.
Yeah.
And it's not a competitive thing. Like I want to play shows with these other bands that are kind of, when people hear us or see us, they know those bands like, oh, you're like, you know, these other bands or whatever. It's like, yeah, I would love to play shows with them. But I think if we were to play a set, you know, with them, there wouldn't be much in common other than like the instrumentation. But we both took the direction of brass or whatever and went our own natural ways.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's cool.
You know.
So now we're going step by step here, right? You guys have made it to where you are now, right? Now you know where you want to go, which is to the moon. You know, Dogecoin or whatever. So, but you got to break that down. So what's the next like big step for you guys? Or like you guys already have a clothing sponsor, right?
We have a clothing sponsor. We're working with a second clothing brand now that's helping us put together a show July 11th. They're selling a concert tee and designing it after the Flowmingos. What else?
We have another clothing company that sponsors us in a way. We're not making clothes together, but it's called Supermassive, and he's wearing one of their shirts. He's wearing one of their shirts and pants. And so it's a really, really great company run by this guy, Hank Ross, who's a super nice guy, super giving. So cool. And then, yeah, I mean, more brands are gonna reach out to us to do stuff. We work with a tequila company called El Silencio, or actually a mezcal company. We just played for them the other day, like so. Yeah, we're trying to work with everyone.
It's just collaborating. That's definitely going to get us into the eyes and ears of a lot of new faces. Yeah, I mean, like for us, the next step, we have a show in October. We're trying to sell out that 400-person venue and kill it a couple more times in New York City, so that these bigger venues can actually, and bigger agents and managers of bands, once they hear that, oh wow, this band, all original music, 400 people showed up, what? And they're going to be like, huge. Oh, we want that. They got to draw.
So until then, the word is just hustle it on the street, get the name out to get
and release a bunch of music online so that people can hear us constantly. Because we have 10 songs out right now, but we have like 40, 50 songs that we have to record, something like that, right? Or more. I don't know. Like it's crazy how many songs we have to record. And we're redoing some of the songs that we've done already, like with rappers and singers and stuff like that. You know, so all that is going to create a whole new product, and we'll be able to advertise our music in a different way, and other people will be able to hire us instead of just hiring like a brass band. Not everyone wants a brass band. Some people want a brass band, but yeah, we're versatile, you know. So
we also have other gigs too. At like Wildbirds, we're playing there in Brooklyn. It's a really cool hip venue. We're trying to play at the Sultan sometime soon.
July 2nd, it's supposed to happen.
Okay, so yeah, it's like we're doing a lot of gigs before the October gig, but that October gig is kind of like of the summer.
Like put us on the map. But like basically this is like guerrilla marketing to the max. And you know, we have QR codes for our Instagram, our Venmo. We're gonna, as we release these songs, you know, you release them 2 to 3 weeks in advance. Yeah. And then you get pre-saves on the songs, and that helps like with the Spotify algorithm and all that nonsense. Cool. So we're gonna have a third QR code. So once we get this song, we're pretty much, I think we might have like one more round of mixing and mastering to do with this song from our guy. We're working on the artwork, and the second that's done, probably Saturday or Sunday or Monday, I upload it to DistroKid, and then I get the link, and then we print out a QR code that's pink and like matches us. You know, we have like a format for that, and then when we're out here, we're just gonna be like, hey, even if you can't give us $1 or whatever, please pre-save this, because if we have 100 pre-saves on that song, that means something, and that actually helps us a lot. So, like I said, like Manny said too, just releasing the music. We're gonna release remixed versions with different rappers
as well.
Videos,
a lot of visual.
Yeah, I was talking to you earlier about like just the music videos and you know like how that's like the big thing too, like to have those videos that people are gonna want to come back to and listen to
right,
and like
so they're
watch.
friends.
So it's like cinematic and it is a music video. You know, like I love watching music videos. So and I know that we're gonna look great in music videos.
Yeah, I think the fact that, especially when you're talking about diversification and working with other artists, like a friend of mine, Chris, I think we talked about this last time, but he was one of the sound guys for Lettuce, like the house sound guy for Lettuce. And like I saw a show with them in New York City, and they had like all they did was all night was like, and they're just a funk band, you know, like all they did all night was James Brown covers and had like guest singers, and like this place was like
Sure they
sold
played
out.
MSG and shit.
Yeah, I saw them in Colorado when I lived there with Colorado Symphony, you know, doing like
Lettuce is a
funk
great
stuff.
example of a band that like
It's
just malleable,
really cool
you know?
music, malleable,
Shout
really
out to
great
Adam Dyke.
musicians. Yeah, making it work.
We've actually been compared to Lettuce more than ever before.
Really?
Like in this past month.
Yeah, and
Really?
I'm actually super here for it. Like, I respect them, and they have a lot of songs that I really like. Yeah, like, and that would be sick because they play those festivals.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things where, like, if we could get in there, once we get into their like eyes and ears, they're gonna be like, hell yeah, let's look these guys
Yeah,
up.
honestly, like having seen them multiple times and you know being a fan for a long time, like your guys' music would fit perfect on a festival with them.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
They just stayed in
Absolutely.
the groove though for a while, like they'll jam out.
Oh yeah, oh absolutely.
Everyone's dancing.
Yeah, they groove hard.
I really want to make some of our music and artwork into NFTs and start receiving
Nice.
payment in Ethereum for it. So we just created our LLC the other day, finally.
Nice.
After a long time talking about it, we're finally doing it. And basically in a few weeks from now, we'll be able to have our own bank account, band bank account, and
awesome.
and be able to have our own crypto wallet so we can actually
So the
make
band's
that
its
happen.
own entity now. Like it's
Yeah.
been created.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's good.
Just gotta trademark the name.
That's amazing. All right, number one, what is the main reason you love doing this for the job?
I honestly just love having fun playing music, and when I see people really feeling the groove that we're playing and everyone's in sync, that's honestly the best feeling. So that's what I chase. I really love that moment where I'm just like, oh fuck yeah, we're all just right here bobbing our heads to the same beat. Like everyone just let go of all the problems and we're just enjoying life in that moment. I love
I
that.
like that, that
that's-
energy to feel that. Like everyone's happy and having a good time.
It's my favorite thing as a drummer. Yeah, everyone's grooving to my groove. Like,
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
I see that. Yeah, definitely. For me, it's like the fact that a lot of it is all original music, and just like to see people being in that space to something that we created.
Yeah.
It's a feeling, it's a high that is like nothing else, and especially playing with like a fat sound system and like thousands of people. That's what we want to get to. Like,
hear each other. It's so.
I've been since I was a little kid. Like I was like, I want to be on a stage and there's like fucking 20,000 people. And we're just like, what's good? And then the whole crowd is like, like that's gonna happen. It's about to get there.
only if you stay as animated as you are.
It's only gonna be
More animated.
There's nobody in front of us right now. This
Yeah.
is where you know you imagine.
There's millions of people.
Anybody that has a day job, right? That's like, I love music. I'm a musician. I really want to just do music. Like, as people who do this for a living and make money making music, what's the best piece of advice that you could give somebody who's like, I really just want to do music for a living. I hate my office. Like, what? How do they get started doing it? Just music for a living.
It's like you just have to pack your day with all music, all
I would
music.
say, yeah, treat it like there's a couple of things. I mean, I guess you could treat it like a work day. So kind of like what you're saying, like, okay, you're gonna put what, 8 hours, 9 hours into work. How do you put 8 or 9 hours into music? Okay, a couple hours practicing, a couple hours emailing, a couple hours of working with the band, a couple hours, whatever it may be. And then, or you say, okay, how much money do I need to make a month? Okay, now I need to make $2,000 a month. Okay. I need to find this many students to at least supplement it so I can do what I want to do, which is go to the jam sessions, meet more people, whatever it may be. Or you have a band, you're like, okay, we got to make this much a month. Like, kind of got to go about it methodically like that, I think, you know?
The business mindset.
Yeah.
You mentioned
Or you
networking.
can say fuck it too. That's kind of what this band is like too, in a way. Where it just works out. And in this band, it's different. It's a unique situation because we just kill it, and so people really respond well to it. You know, not everyone's gonna be able to just bust with the band. Like New York's really cool for that too. Most cities aren't like that.
You bring up 2 points that's really good. Number one, networking. How much of your job is actually playing music versus networking, trying to
Well, we're
get
out
other
here with
gigs?
networking.
Yeah.
So actually, so when you guys are playing, you're networking, really.
Yeah.
That's actually
In
more
this
important
setting.
to us, or that's actually more important to me than the actual financial aspect of busking. Is like just the networking aspect. Is like the meeting people on the random street. It's the
following us on
Instagram, whatever it may be. You know, it's like money is cool, however much money you make in a day, and necessary. But it's like the other stuff that could get you farther. I think is what busking makes it busking amazing.
And more money.
I would just say also be willing to work harder than anybody else, because there's a lot of people that are like busting their asses, and make sure that you actually have something that's worth people like wanting to go out. You know, I feel like we're in a pretty lucky position because we have seen for 2.5 years now that people respond to our stuff, so that gave us the confidence to
People ask for stuff from us.
yeah, like, and it just gave us the confidence to like really say peace out,
That's
real
awesome.
job.
And
You
we're
know,
all
we were
boys.
we have boys as in like homies, you know, but also yeah.
Well, the second point I was gonna say too is like you guys are doing this, and it's New York City. You know what I mean? Like this is one of the most expensive places to live on the planet. You know, and you guys are doing it. You guys are out here hustling. You're making a living doing this in one of the most expensive cities on the planet. That's
Gotta
so
get
it's
groceries,
possible,
gotta
right?
cook at home.
Yeah.
You gotta make sacrifices sometimes.
Yeah.
Can't always get a Starbucks. You know, stuff like
You gotta
that.
make your coffee at home,
Yeah.
make your own food.
What else?
Work in the service industry too. That's another good. And play outside.
Right.
Humbling again.
If you have a schedule where you can kind of mark your own hours.
I was
mean, you
working
work
at 9
around
to
it.
5, like 5 days a week, making like 300 some bucks, and I was dead tired, had no energy to bust, and I was still trying to make it work, and it sucked. And I was calling you and being like, "Yo, I'm gonna quit. And then I started bar backing with him, working like 2 nights a week, and then I could bust all week. But I made more money in those 2 days than I would a whole week of work.
So you found a way to work less and be able to play more and
Yeah,
still
yeah,
maintain the same
But I
amount
feel
of
like
money.
for us at this point, we don't have the time anymore. Like I don't.
Yeah.
We're trying to do this like 6-7 days a week. Obviously, it's like
That's before you. I'm just saying that's
Yeah.
before you get to where you're at.
yeah, like you definitely have
You got to
to
start somewhere.
You got to wean
yeah,
yourself
you can,
off
you
the,
can ease into it.
That's it.
the seeds of the man, and
All right.
But I also wouldn't have been able to do that without him or these guys.
You guys help each other out too.
yeah, and with friends with a common goal in mind.
That's good. Yeah. All right, guys, I appreciate it. Before we leave, plug all the social media, whatever, clothing companies. Yeah.
Flowmingos on Instagram, the Phoenix brand on Instagram for our clothing collab with the sustainable clothing company. Delmonico.ny on Instagram for the Sunday Sessions July 11th concert. Super massive shop, something like that. Supermassive shop on Instagram for the clothes that we're wearing right now. We're going to be at the Sultan Room in July. We're going to be at SOBs in October. We're going to be at the Culture Lab at LIC July 18th. At Wildbirds May 28th and June 23rd. We're available for private gigs.
Check our website at flowmingos.com. All of our shows are there. We're going to have our merch on there soon too, where you can buy CDs from us directly instead of even Bandcamp, which is a great company. It does more than Spotify and all the other places. They still take a cut, which is, to be fair, they have a business run totally. So we have a business run too. Go to our website and you can just support us directly instead of going through a third party.
Subscribe to us on YouTube because we're going to start posting a lot of vlogs. We're going to start vlogging so people can actually see how hard we work.
Awesome, guys. I'll send me a list of all that stuff, and then I'll just include it. All right, cool. Awesome.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks for sticking around for this episode of Living the Adventure. If you enjoyed it or learned something, please hit the like button. And the easiest way to be notified of upcoming episodes is to hit the subscribe button. There's more information in the video description below. And if you have information on topics covered in this episode, or you're currently living the same adventure, I challenge you to leave a comment so those just getting started have the ability to ask questions and get a different perspective. You can always reach me at xpatjack.com. Just go over to the contact page, drop me a line, and I'll get back to you. Till then, I'll see you on the next adventure. Stay tuned.